Right, bivvy camp tonight. And yes, I know the bag looks bloody massive, but that's because I've got my foam roll mat inside. I'm not a fan particularly of having stuff on the outside because I tend to get hooked up on the trees walking in. If I can get everything inside, I will do. So, big bag, but 50% of it is just the mat. well, that's shelter for the night build. And toys to play with today, some Blesser head torch for its first proper camp outing, Flextail gear little mini pump for the airbed, and also it's a camp lantern. So we hung up here, and Highlander dragon's egg bivvy bag with the internal sleep mat in it, although I am putting my foam roll mat underneath that as well. I'm getting old, I need the padding. Let's set them up. Right, that's bed set up. Dragon's egg Bivvy, which has got a built-in sleep mat, although I have got my foam underneath there as well somewhere. I'll straighten him up in a minute. A bit of extra padding, medium weight army bag because it is going to be chilly tonight. Combination of that and this, I should be toasty warm. Just got a real cheapy inflatable pillow. And the other thing, you probably won't see these, they're too small, so I'll do a photo. I've got these little glow in the dark tabs on the zips. I'll put one on the bivvy, one on the sleeping bag, just to help you locate them in the dark. I don't know how well they work. I've had them for a long time, but I've normally had them just on like my car keys and things like that. I've never thought of using it in a camping application, so it'll be a bit of a test to have those as well. As you can see, Mark's out with me today. He's brought his Dutch Army out, and he's also got a sleep mat that's been sent to him for trial and review. And in first impressions, we quite like it. He's had a lay on it, and it's, you know, quite comfy. We're not too sure about the built-in pillow. That's a bit big and a bit fat, but only time will tell. But yeah, he should be nice and comfy in there, I should think. Good stuff. Bit of behind the scenes footage. Mark's just doing a sort of like first look review type video of a new sleep mat. From outsiders, I bet we all look a bit daft talking to the camera. I'm just having a bit of a wander around. I'm sort of in the borderlands because this woodland has got shared ownership. Down in the bottom there's a little stream, although there's not much in it. It's more of a muddy puddle at the moment, which is surprising after all the rain we've had. But that's the actual border. That woodland over the other side there, that's someone else's ground, and they're quite active in their woodland. So we try and avoid them if possible. The bit we're in is the sort of abandoned piece, shall we say. If I pan around that way, where this is too much sun, let me get out of the sun. Get over here where I'm a bit more sheltered. Got this thick holly and the rhododendron up through there. We're actually camping only about sort of 50 metres the other side of that, straight through there. So we can't be seen. It's quite a nice little location here where it's a bit more open. But of course we can be seen then by the people the other side of the stream. Not that it really affects them because we're not on their ground. But, you know, they could always speak to people and say that they've seen us in here, so we try and avoid them. I keep thinking I can hear movement up here, but the wind's getting up, and where this woodland's unmanaged, all the trees have got really tall and spindly, not how they should be, so of course they all whip about like anyone that's old enough like me. CB aerials, they all whip about like CB aerials. That's what most of the noise is. In the background there, I don't know if you can see there, There's a big fallen tree. A lot of the barks fell off. That's where we camp in the winter time. It's a bit more sheltered. But today we're down through there at the summer camp, or the hammock camp as it's referred to sometimes, because it's a bit more open and there's more places to set up. It's also a location that both Mark and myself use if we've got visitors coming, because it's just easier, a bit more room. I like the old camp, the winter camp, bushcraft camp, but really 2 people, 3 at a push is the absolute maximum you can get in there, and there's only room really for 1 hammock, 2 if you're good friends, so it's not used as much. But I'm still going to have to do another camp there soon, because I do really like that location. We're down there, and although I'm looking straight in there, I can't see either of our setups at all. This is one of the reasons we like camping in here. Look at all this deadfall on the floor. Firewood for years and years. And in some ways we're doing them a service, because we are slowly clearing the woodland. Oh, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. As you can see, Mark is down in the hole under the tree root, and as daft as that may seem, it actually is working like a gypsy well. It fills up with water, so we get water from under the tree stump there, and then it just needs filtering.
And then we boil it.
Yeah.
It's more than Anna's drinking water for our coffins. To be fair, considering it's just come out of a hole, it's not too bad. It's got a few floaty bits in it.
Yeah, but all the mud and that it will be, but yeah, nature provides.
Yep.
A gypsy well, we didn't even have to dig it. Beautiful day. Well, the camera's washed out completely on that, but it's perfect clear blue sky. The trouble is, it's still early in the year. It's only 4 o'clock. I've got my jacket on already. It's going to be a chilly one tonight. Right, lit the fire because it's actually getting chilly. And that's that little job completed using the world's longest lasting firelighter. A tea light candle. So probably the cheapest as well.
Some wood.
Lamb steaks for dinner tonight. Mmm. That's bloody good. It's after dinner coffee time. That's it. Perfect. Cheers. Let me tell you a little story. We're sitting in by the fire and through the trees in the far, far distance we could see a light. And we thought, bloody hell, who else is in here? Nobody comes into these woods. So Mark kept an eye on it from here, and I went and I did a wide sweep around to approach on a stealthy course with a head torch on, but only on red light. And it was only when I got halfway there that this light had got much, much bigger. And then we realised it was the moon shining through the trees. A pair of idiots. Well, it's getting late and it's getting cold, so hot chocolate before bed.
Oh, yes.
Right, so it's time for bed, and I'm quite glad actually because it is quite chilly. It'd be nice to get completely zipped up in the bag, and of course the bivvy over the top for that bit of extra insulation. Yeah, should be a good night, but of course this is where you find out that the bit you're set up on has got a lump in the ground, or it's not flat, but it's too late for that. We'll find out. I'll see you in the morning. Morning. Well, I've just come away from camp to film this little bit because Mark's still asleep. Don't want to wake him up. It's still relatively early. It's about 6:15. Didn't have the best of nights, to be fair. I was lovely and warm, really, toasty, very, very comfortable. But the little self-inflating mat within the bivvy bag just wasn't thick enough. I'm a side sleeper, and although I couldn't feel my hip on the floor, I kept waking up with my hip either feeling sort of numb or like pins and needles in my leg on whichever side I was sleeping on. So not a brilliant night's sleep. I woke up just after midnight. I woke up about 3, 4, and just now at 6. I just thought, I'm just getting up now. So yeah, bivvy bag worked okay. The mat was just not enough for me personally. I do need a bit more padding now I'm getting older. The flex tail little pump that doubles up as a light, that worked well yesterday. Gave out a good amount of light when I went to bed, and I was taking my boots off and that sort of thing, and the last bit of filming that I did as I went to bed. I only had the light on low and it was still plenty bright enough, so that's quite impressive, the light output on that. And thinking of lights, the Sunblesser head torch, used all evening, had a play with it, with different functions and whatever. Impressed with that as well. Good light output, not massive range or anything like that, but more than enough for camp duties or walking in the dark and that sort of thing. The red light is very good too, nice red light on it. But I'll do a proper review of them items at some point. This was the first trip for them, but yeah, everything went quite well apart from not sleeping. Now I've put the kettle on. I'm going to go and make a coffee. I need it. That's what we want to see. Sun's coming up, warm things up a little bit. Roughly in the same location as where the moon rose last night. That was funny, because when the moon, the top edge of it was just peeping over the hilltop, it looked like a dome lit up in the woods, and we were convinced it was like a tent with a light on inside until I come up and had a look. Once I got closer and it had risen a bit more, I could see it was actually the moon, but it caused a bit of a chuckle to start with. Silly pair of buggers. Well, that was another successful camp. Good night, not a brilliant sleep, but a good evening at least, and a lovely morning for packing up. I'm packed. Mark's just having his coffee and waking up, and a bit of a warm around the bush box. Oh, no. But yeah, chilly, but nice. We enjoyed it. Had a good night, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah, it was all right. A few laughs.
Chilled down a bit, but we was all right around the fire, weren't we?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next camp.